so good to be with you, each of you this morning. Good morning online. We see you, we hear you, and we want to hear from you. Actually, if you are online and you want to let us know that you're there, you know that you can connect with us through chat. So please chat with us. And good morning, everyone in the room. Yes, it's good to be together. More and more, we're just getting used to it, aren't we? Yes, we are. We are so blessed, and we want to sing about it. If this speaks to you, you can sing with us, or just let the music wash over you. Whatever is feeling good for you this morning. I see the guys, big smiles in this room. Big smiles in this room. I am blessed. I am blessed. Every day of my life, I am blessed, 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 blessed. When I wake up in the morning or lay my head to rest, I am blessed. I am blessed. Good morning, guys. I am free. I am free. Every day of my life, I am free, 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 free. When I wake up in the morning or lay my head to rest, I am free. I am free. I am loved. I am loved. Every day of my life, I am love, 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 love. When I wake up in the morning or lay my head to rest, I am love. I am love. I am free. I am free. Every day of my life, I am free, 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 free. When I wake up in the morning or lay my head to rest, I am free. I am free. I am blessed. Ooh, I am blessed. Every day of my life, I am blessed, 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 blessed. When I wake up in the morning or lay my head to rest, I am blessed. I am blessed. Yes, I am blessed. I am blessed. Ooh. I am blessed. Amen. And that pipe organ, doesn't it feel good? Woo! Yes, 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 yes. We had such a fantastic time here Tuesday night. If you missed it, you missed it. But it was so rich. We were celebrating Atlanta Black Gay Pride, okay? So thousands and thousands of people were not in this room, but the interfaith movement of that organization was here, and it was just fantastic. Everything was sprinkled with Pentecostal. It was just beautiful. New thought, hallelujah, hallelujah. Yeah, it was a great evening. It was a great evening. So that's my revisiting that moment. Yes, yes, yes. And if you will, the liturgy of our movement, it goes right through Amy Bishop, right through Gary Lynn Floyd, right through Karen Drucker. This is their collection of music. Actually, it's Gary Lynn Floyd's. All together, sing a song. All together, everyone belongs. All together, a family. We're all together. all together sing a song. All together everyone belongs. All together a family. We're all together. All together sing a song. All together everyone belongs. All together a family. We are all together. All together sing a song. All together everyone belongs. All together a family. We are all together. Sounds good. All together sing a song. All together everyone belongs. All together a family. We are all together. We are all together. We are all together. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love grow. We are family, we're sisters and we're brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. Yes. How about if you join in with me? I'm going to do a call and response. I'll sing it and you can respond. How about that? Here we go. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love grow. You can respond. We have come here to let our love grow. We are family, we're sisters and we're brothers. We are family, we're sisters and we're brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. You can say that with me. Yeah. Let's take it from the top. Sounds good. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love grow. We are family, we're sisters and we're brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. Yes, we do, SLCA. Yes, we do. We carry this love. We carry this love. We carry this love everywhere that we go. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love grow. We are family, we're sisters and we're brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. Good morning. I love these faces. We have come here to love one another. We have come here to let our love grow. We are family, we're sisters and we're brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. It's such a good reminder, isn't it? Yes. to let our love grow. We are family, we're sisters and we're brothers, and we carry this love everywhere that we go. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Yes, oh, 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 oh. Good job, everyone. Yes. Oh, 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 oh. Yes, good morning.
Lighting the flames of faith. We perform this ceremony to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all people in all faiths, all sentient beings, come from the one great universal presence, which we call spirit. Fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all religious thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for the shamanic traditions, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for all forms of New Thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We light a candle for all those who are as yet unaware of the power and the presence of spirit in their lives, and for the space that we are holding for them at this center, and for all religions unnamed in this ceremony.
So beautiful. That's the Flames of Faith. We play that video thanks to Reverend Ursula Lentini and Reverend Dr. David Alexander, who prepared that for us. I invite you to stand with us as we can sing together our opening song. If it feels comfortable to stand, and we welcome you at home to join with us. There is a space in my heart where I can find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. When we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself, or where you come from, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. Come on now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when freedom and love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we can ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, there is a place in this world with open arms right now. All right. Welcome to love. Welcome to peace. Welcome to our community. Be who you are. Let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Yes, you are. Good morning and welcome. Please be seated.
Good morning, SLCA, Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. How are you? Good deal, good deal. Happy Labor Day weekend. My name is Karen Ratz. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. And we are so glad that you are here. We are so glad that you're here. Whether you're joining us online, hi, Facebook Live, or YouTube Live, or if you are here in the room, your presence matters. Yeah, your presence matters. And that's what we're doing here. We are a center that educates and engages the seeker on your spiritual path. As a member of the global movement, Centers for Spiritual Living, our mission is to provide spiritual tools for personal and global transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. And our vision is a world that works for everyone. We always know that, right? That's what we're here for, a world that works for everyone. So whether it's your first time or whether you're a longtime member, whether you're here in person, whether you're here online, we are so grateful for your presence. You can always get more information about this service with the QR codes that are around the center or the ones that are on the screen online. That's where all the information is. If you have a question, ask it there. So what we'd like to do now is recognize our SLCA youth, both attending in person and watching online. Here they are. Hi, guys. As Nelson Mandela said, the youth of today are the leaders of tomorrow. This looks like our leaders of tomorrow, doesn't it? Yes. All right, please join me in affirming the youth affirmation that appears on your screen. We see and hear you. We bless and love you. We thank Spirit for you. You belong. And so it is.
I know that crew right there. Good morning, everyone. It's great to have you in the house today. It's good to be together. Happy Black Pride to Atlanta. We had a great interfaith service, as Penelope was saying, here on Tuesday night to kick that off. It was a wonderful time. And we're delighted to be a part of that energy. This month we are shifting our focus from nature to, we follow the themes of the magazine. So Science of My Magazine, the theme for the month is Reclaiming Our Humanity. The theme of the year is Living Everyday Wonder. And we're looking this month at the concept of work as a spiritual practice. So the themes of the week this month will be about work and reclaiming our humanity. And so in that spirit and in that light, this morning. And by the way, as I say hello to everybody who's joining us on Facebook Live and YouTube, a special love and compassionate care reach out to all of our family that are watching from Oregon. Sorry that the Georgia Bulldogs took care of you yesterday, but but they did take care of you, didn't they? Didn't they take care of them? They took care of them. That's all right. All I'm going to say is, I moved here a couple years ago. And I'm just saying consciousness is everything. Bulldogs won a championship. The Braves won a championship. I'm here. I'm just saying consciousness is everything. I belong. That's right. It's all good. That's all I'm saying. So we're sending love to our Oregon Duck fans. Well, Welcome, David and Walters. Good to see you guys. Oh, my goodness. Our international family members in the house today. Where are you guys living now? Spain. Outside of Barcelona. Wow. Well, welcome back. We're glad to have you here. Let's give them some love.
So good to see you.
Good to see you. All right, so today's affirmation, focusing on this idea of work this month. It says, I am a piece of the divine work of spirit, made in wholeness, filled with purpose, expressing as love. Let's say that together. I am a piece of the divine work of spirit, made in wholeness, filled with purpose, expressing as love. And so it is. Let's have a great morning together. Give each other a hand. Good to see you.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. So it is.
We come to our time for affirmative prayer. I wasn't going to bring up sports, but since Reverend David did, my wife Sue might say I watch a bit too much sports, perhaps. But if you watched anything this week of Serena Williams playing at the U.S. Open, at age 41, I think coming week. And it was interesting, after her second match won, where she took out the number 2 seed, Mary Jo Fernandez went out to the court to interview her and said, "Are you surprised you won?" And the look on her face, but instead of dressing her down and said, "Of course I'm not surprised," she said, "I'm just Serena." Right? She didn't apologize for her greatness. She didn't give the demure female trained response, "Oh, I'm just so lucky to have won. I'm so glad." She didn't really mention the competitor, which I thought was cool. Right? So that level of knowing your own greatness and that level of self-love and not apologizing for it. So that's what we're going to treat for today, because that is your truth. You too are just Serena. That level of greatness, showing up, showing out, all good things, that is you too. We resonate with her because she is us. So let's treat for that. If there's any part of your heart right now that doesn't know that you are Serena, we're going to treat for that and know that today, okay? So I breathe into my God nature. Whatever I call this source, nature, infinite intelligence, God, Yahweh, energy, whatever I name it, call it, or if I can't name it, it's still all there is. You are one with unlimited source. It is your nature. It is who you are. And all other labels, he, she, they, straight, bi, cis, all the other labels, be they gender or racial or identity or personality, all the labels are human developed. The true label is you are a God being. And any identity you have in this lifetime is good and very good. You are Serena's power. You are Serena's curves. You are Serena's greatness. You are Serena's confidence. That is your God nature. We choose, I choose to know my highest truth. I choose to know that whatever I decide will be supported by the universe. I am worthy of prosperity. I am worthy of good things in my life. I am worthy of good and healthy relationships. I am worthy of work that I love, or retirement that I love, or anything that I love. I am worthy. Self-love honors my God nature. Self-love allows me to be generous and open and loving with others. Self-love means I can receive love from others. And so this circle and this circulation goes round and round. All good comes from me, all good comes to me, and I am guided and directed by my God nature now. And so with a very grateful and open heart, with a deep thanksgiving for this knowingness, I release this treatment to the law where it is done. And together we affirm this, and so it is.
With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. As I open and allow, I know right here and now, I create a world where wonders never cease. With every prayer, I breathe the heart of God. I breathe the love of God through me. Through me. Sing it out loud. Sing it out loud. Through me. I hear you, sister. Yolanda Williams is in the house. Yes, she is. She's going to be joining us. It's so good to see you, Yolanda. It's good to see so many of us, right? Ah, yes, so beautiful. And look around the room and say, hello, family. Hello, family online. Where do we go from here? How do we move beyond the pain? Oh, where do we go from here? How do we bridge this great divide? Oh, like watching from a field of flowers to bloom. It's gonna take time to heal these wounds from the trail of tears in our wake. Whoa, When will we learn from our mistakes? Like watching from a field of flowers to bloom. It's gonna take time to heal these wounds from the trail of tears in our wake. To younger generations undefiled, will be a lighthouse to guide their smiles. Be the change you wanna see. Let's be the change. Let's be the change. Let's be the change. Let's be the change. Thank you.
All right. Be the change. Yes, yes. That's just a little preview of our jazz concert this afternoon. We're so looking forward to that. It's going to be great. Yeah. Amen. Good morning. Good to see you all again. As we shift this focus for the month, Reclaiming Our Humanity and looking at work from a spiritual perspective, I want us to begin by just thinking about what is your work in the world. We're going to be exploring and unpacking that idea throughout the month. This affirmation that I wrote that, I am a piece of the divine work of spirit. I had, as I was reading pieces of the magazine, which, by the way, great stuff in here from Mark Nepo, who I absolutely love. If you're not familiar with his work, check it out. My article's pretty good, too. I'm in there, right? I'm in there every month. You can read that. Always breaking down some of Ernest Holmes' work. And so I was thinking about this idea of work, and Spirit was saying to me, David, you're a piece of work. And I went, well, that's going to be the affirmation. I want people to look at each other and say, you're a piece of work. A divine piece of work, right? Haven't you ever want to say that to somebody? You might have come with them today. I'll give you a chance in a little bit. So this month we're going to embark on this adventure of spiritual practice and finding the good work that we do through the revelation of everyday wonder, of bringing that idea of wonder and awe first and foremost to who we are, which was anchored in the affirmative prayer of that idea of saying, I'm just Serena. I'm just that awe. I'm just that awesomeness of spirit. I'm not, it's not about competition to anyone or anything outside of me. It's just the essence of who I am, right? Taking the opportunity to anchor in that awareness and do all the good that we can. I haven't posted the blog yet, but I will. That every month I bring together resources that have to do with the theme, and I've been reading this week from a book called The Reinvention of Work by Matthew Fox. It was written, first published in 1995, which was only 10 years ago. So, right? You notice like the 90s, or you used to think that was only 10 years ago, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, wait a second, that was a minute ago, wasn't it? Just a little bit. So it was written in 1995, but as I was reading it, I was like, wow, it's so relevant to today's sort of what we're calling post-pandemic, which is, I think, we don't have a better term. We're not really post anything, if you notice. We're still in it. So it's not post-pandemic, but we tend to think of it that way. And it's really interesting to read some of his words in light of where we are in relationship to that. He says the whole book is about just reevaluating the whole paradigm of work in our society and what it looks like and how we do it and what it means, and capitalistic culture and spiritual values and the conflict therein and so on and so forth. It's a fabulous piece of work. And like all Matthew Fox's work, it's thick, it's dense, it's takes a while to get through, but he packages it in a way that you can march right through his premise and his buildup. So just a few excerpts from that. He says, today, the paradigm of work and our capitalistic culture, he says, is undergoing a radical reevaluation. The established way of seeing the world is no longer functioning. The work machine is running out of steam, coming to an end, even in the so-called first world. The basics of human living, including work, healthcare, politics, education, religion, are increasing beyond our grasp. And so a new era is upon us. We are being challenged today in light of the wounded earth, of the 1 billion unemployed. I don't know what that number is today, but in 1995, that's what it was. The billions of despairing young people who see no guarantee of either work or jobs in their future. Right? 1995, and I read it today and go, wow, it's like he was really, prophesizing about a time to come, that we're seeing the unfoldment and the unraveling of all these things. He says, changing our ways includes changing the way we define work, the way we compensate work, the way we create work, and the way that we let go of work and learn to infuse it with play and ritual. He goes on to say, the crisis that we face in the job market is a symptom of something much deeper. He says that often, right, politicians, he goes on to talk about how politicians will respond to the job market, the crisis in the workplace and the economy by, creating more jobs. And we tend to think that that's the solution. And he says creating more jobs is like pasting leaves on a tree that all the leaves are falling off, and just pasting more trees on it. He says the jobs are the leaves. Work is the tree itself. Work is the roots. And unless you handle the spirituality and the health of the root system, pasting more leaves on it's not going to help, right? He says the crisis that we face is a symptom of something much deeper. It's a crisis of our relationship to the concept of work itself. So that's what I want to kind of unpackage and explore today, our relationship to the concept of work itself. Because I know from my own experience that I have had a tendency to make things harder than they are. Can you relate? Like I've just made things like a bigger struggle and like just more work than it needs to be, right? And even in my social justice self and wanting to make the world a better place, that sometimes there's this sense of struggle in the midst of that we have to fight hard and we have to work hard. And I'm not saying that there's real work to be done, right? There's real things that we have to pay attention to and stay on top of, and I'm a big advocate of that. But I've wondered, and I've allowed myself that practice of spiritual wonder, to just pause and question and fill my consciousness with a sense of wonder, to say, is that really true? It's good to just challenge your assumptions every once in a while, and to just challenge the paradigm from which you're coming. It doesn't mean you have to just unravel and let everything fall apart, but just pause long enough to just question. And what you do is you make room for more light and more awareness to come in. And more often than not, what it does is it clarifies your work. Right? It doesn't mean you're going to fall apart and suddenly not do what you do, but you're going to bring new light and new awareness to it. So I've been doing this. I've been just allowing myself to be filled with a sense of wonder and saying, what if I'm making it harder than it is? What if it's not a struggle to do what is right? What if doing what is right in the world, in our own lives, etc., doing what is healthy, doing what will fulfill us, what will meet our needs, etc., what if that's the natural way? Right? What if that's the natural way? What if the work is the struggle that we've made out of the illusion that we think about it? Right? What if that's the struggle? The struggle is in the illusion, not in the work itself. That the work itself, it's like the other day I went out and we've got a blessing of a space out in Lawrenceville. I know that seems like a country away for some of you, way OTP, right? But it's a beautiful space, and our backyard is kind of like it looks like a ranch on the front side of the house, but the back side is the second level. So there's a deck, and then it goes down, and there's some beautiful landscaping, and the yard goes down again and goes down to a creek. And so when I first 2 summers here, I was doing a lot of work and cleaning all that up, landscaping it. This year I've not done as much, and it has rained a lot this year, like a lot. And so the growth is crazy. So there's this whole area where I've redone rocks and stone paths down from the lower level down to the yard part. And I looked there the other day, and it was just all overgrown in weeds and vines and just like almost completely covered. And I thought, wow, when did that happen? Because normally it's one or two little things, and I got to go kind of take them out and take care of it. But this was like just covered. It's just the growth has been like crazy. And it occurred to me, it was like, that's the natural way. If I just leave it, right, that's its natural thing. It's just going to do that, right? I've made it work because I've decided I want it to be something other than that. You following me? So what if our struggle with work is the illusion or the concept, or the idea that we have said, well, we've got to make it like this, and so we've actually produced the work, right, the struggle, right, rather than just allowing ourselves to work with what naturally is, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with having a beautifully landscaped yard if that's what you want, right, and it is what I want, right? There's nothing wrong with that, but it's understanding the framing that we're thinking about it. The word job comes from the Middle English word gobe, G-O-B-B-E. I don't know if that's how you say it or not, but it's where we get the word gob, right, which means lump, right? Job means, it means it's a specific task. It's a lump of stuff. You got to move that lump from here to there, right? You get it like a wheelbarrow. You got to pick it up, put the lump in there, and move it from here to there. It's a thing. It just simply means specific, right? It's a particular thing. In contrast to where we get the concepts of work from. Work comes from the role that we play in the unfolding drama of the universe. The word, the old French word, rôle, means that the roll of paper from which the actor reads from, right? The role that we play. So our work in the world is about defining the role that we play in the cosmic unfolding of the universe, right? So I want a presence for us today that this idea that, and I don't have my magic clicker today, but there's a first slide is we all have work. We all have divine work. We all have a divine role to play. We all have work. Nobody's unemployed in spirit. We all have work. We all have divine work, a divine assignment, a divine role that we play, right? But before we explore that even more, I want to contextualize, if you will, the cosmic unfolding that all of our work is taking place within. And that's to kind of just dial us back, go back to the beginning and say, what is this kind of greater cosmological story that we tell ourselves? And the story comes in a couple different forms. The Judeo-Christian version is the story that we get in Genesis, but we have an origin story in Native American traditions. We have an origin story in Buddhist traditions. We have an origin story from all the great religions of the world. And they all have very similar qualities to them. And in the Bible, in the Torah, in the law, in Genesis, it says, in the creation poem, which is what it is. It's a beautiful piece of poetry. It's not necessarily an articulation, right? There was no stenographer. Right? We tend to think of some of the text of the Bible as sort of stenographered notes about how things came to be. But it's just a story. It's a myth, creation myth story that has similarities to other creation myth stories and mutations as it has been passed down through culture and through time. In that particular story, in the form that we have it available to us today, it says, and God said, and it was, and then God saw that it was good and very good. Every time, right? Every time. It happens 7, 8 times in the process of in the creation story. And God saw that it was, and God saw that it was good and very good. God saw that it was good. God saw that it was good. God saw that it was good. What does that include? Everything. It includes everything. Everything's included in what God saw, or the intelligence of the universe saw, that was created out of itself, out of its infinite self-knowingness. And there was only one option, there was only one choice for it to be good, because God is all that there is. So it was good and very good because it saw itself in its creation, right? It's looking back on itself through its creation. And that line is repeated and repeated at every layer of the cosmos, of the creation of the universe that you and I call our experience. God saw that it was good and very good. It includes everything. What does it exclude? Nothing. It excludes nothing. Nothing's excluded from the goodness of creation. Nothing's excluded from the goodness of God. Nothing's excluded from the wholeness of creation. Everything is included, and it was good, and it was very good. Now, why then is there so much friction and struggle and strife in our collective experience? In other words, why is there so much work created in this world and in this task of creating a world that works for everyone? Well, we can look through the wisdom of the sages of the ages and see that they all kind of point to the same mistake that humanity has made over and over again. And that is that we have forgotten who we are, right? We have version of Cain and Abel. Before that, Adam and Eve, right? I talked about this last week when they're sort of when God is, moving through the garden in the evening and looking for them and said, "Where are you?" He said, "We're over here and we're naked. We're hiding." Right? He says, "Who told you were naked?" Right? Forgot who they were. Suddenly they felt shame or something about how they were being perceived. Right? Who told you that? You have Cain and Abel forgetting their divine nature and creating strife with each other. The Buddha discovers, leaves the lush palace of privilege and discovers the way in which attachment is connected to the suffering of all of humanity. Attachment, essentially forgetting who we are, right? Arjuna faces, in the Gita, in the Hindu wisdom, faces the epic battle on the battlefield, and he's standing there in the middle with his members of his family on both sides of the battle. People on both sides, ones that he's connected to, ones that are part of his tribe, but others that are fighting against them, but are also members of his blood family, forgetting who they are, now facing each other in this epic battle. And he himself forgetting who he is in relationship to all of that drama unfolding. The theme over and over again, regardless of what version of these stories you look at, you see the theme of forgetting who we are over and over and over again. And so this is collectively brought into the idea of working hard or the idea of struggle. We've bought into the idea of the trance of scarcity, of not enough, of competition, of inferiority, of not being good enough, right? And in order to cope with our projected cosmic drama, to cope with this idea of forgetting, we have projected a cosmic drama onto the scene of life that says that we have to earn our way out of our forgettingness. That we have to earn our way out of our own amnesia, that we have to somehow become worthy, that we have to somehow become acceptable, that we have to somehow become lovable, we have to somehow become good enough, we have to somehow earn the right to accept our divinity, earn the right to be accepted in this circle or that circle, or earn our way up the corporate ladder. All the variations that we have made of the story, we have simply said, out of the amnesia of our forgetfulness of the divinity of who we are, we've said, here's the ladder, here's the path in which we can break out of our own story that we created. Right? And suddenly we'll be acceptable again. You see that? Now the problem with that is that it's not just a story that humanity made up, right? That comes from a lack of self-knowingness of who we are, right? The problem is that regardless of how successful you are in that story, right? See, you see that even if you, quote unquote, go to the right church, even if you have done the right things, even if you've become acceptable in the eyes of your parents, even if you've become acceptable in the eyes of God, even if you've done all the things, right? Somebody else is still judging whether that's true or not. And even if you're winning, right? Hashtag winning. Even if you're hashtag winning at this idea of becoming acceptable by whoever created the rules, right? Then that means somebody else is losing, right? Because somebody else isn't performing to that standard. Somebody else isn't making it. Somebody else isn't good enough. Somebody else isn't, right? So somebody else is suffering even in the midst of your succeeding. That's a toxic story. And it's the toxic story of humanity, right? So it's bad enough that this story does damage to our own soul. What's worse is that it corrodes our collective sense of humanity, right? It eats away at our capacity to create beloved community. Because as long as some of us believe that we can earn our way to goodness and wholeness and worthiness, then by definition, somebody else is determining who is effectively performing the task or doing it correctly and someone who's not. And to make matters worse, who is capable of doing it and who is incapable of doing it. Because if somebody's deciding whether you're performing well or not, then somebody can easily decide, well, these folks over here, they're not even capable of earning their worth. They're not even, it doesn't matter how many degrees they have after their name. We're still not going to let them in the club. Right? It doesn't matter how much they give to the church. We're still not, really, when the truth, I mean, we'll take their tithes, but they're not really going to heaven. You see? You see how there are toxic versions of this that exist in the church. There's toxic versions that exist in the marketplace, and exist in the corporate world, exist in the education system, exist everywhere. Because it's all variations of the same toxic story of trying to break out of the amnesia of our forgetfulness. But God said it was good and very good, right? But what happens is such that even if you exceed in the drama, then it likens to me like a pyramid scheme, right? You never really succeed because doing so will cost you too much. It'll cost you, even if you succeed, it will cost you your true happiness. It'll cost you relationships. It'll cost you your authenticity. It'll cost you your soul connection. Some of you know this. Some of you know that you can succeed in the corporate world and lose your soul. Right? You can succeed in this area but lose authentic relationships. You can make money but lose this, right? You understand what I'm saying? And in order to win, you have to fall asleep to the idea that while you're winning, someone else is losing. And the authenticity of your soul can't deal with that. Right? And so you have to shelf it. You have to create another layer of amnesia that says, even while I'm performing and doing well in this, I'm going to forget, I'm going to just pretend like I don't know that while I'm winning in this area, others are losing. Right? And that creates a kind of chasm in your spirit, a dissonance in your soul of cosmic proportions, which we fill with a false promise of toxic religion and an empty quest to go find ourselves. You see, what happens is we either fill it in one of two ways. We fill it with, probably multiple ways, more than two. We fill it with, perhaps drugs and alcohol, some kind of addiction to numb the idea that there is a cosmic dissonance within us, or we fill it with some sort of twisted toxic religion that tells us that we're actually okay, that we're actually playing the game right. Or some other corporate mindset that tells us that we're playing the game right, or we fill it with some, and there's a New Thought version of this too, a spiritual quest that says, oh, I know, actually what my real work is to go find myself. My real work is to go do my spiritual work. That's actually what my work is, and then we feel better because we think, well, that's a better version than this toxic story over here, right? Whereby we make our new work our spiritual quest. Now, this might sound shocking to you today. Stop it. Let me explain myself. It says, God saw that it was good and very good. It was good and very good. Now, I don't care if you go on a weekend seminar, if you take classes and uncover your hidden powers and know your Enneagram numbers and all. I just saw a book the other day about a Christ-centered Enneagram. I went, oh God, what is going on here? I don't care, right? You go find your inner child. Some of you have heard me use the illustration of the toaster, right? You understand what a toaster does? What does a toaster do? It makes toast. Put bread in it. Press the button, what does it do? Makes toast. Browns the bread to toast, right? Take that toaster, unplug it, shelf it, put it away, come back a day, a week, a month, a year later, I don't care. Come back, put the toaster there, plug it in, take a piece of bread, put it in, push the button, what does it do? It makes toast. Why does it do that? Because that's its job. That's its function. That's what it, as soon as it's plugged in. Notice what it doesn't do. It doesn't say, oh, I notice I've been unplugged for a while. I don't know who unplugged me from my divine source, but I kind of got some issues about that. I need to go to a seminar and get in touch with my inner toaster. I need to heal whoever it is that unplugged me. I need to forgive and release. No, it gets back to work because that's its job. And so what I'm proposing to you today is that waking up to your divinity is all good, but what I'm proposing to you is that's your job, not your work. It's your job. It's a task. You're here to remember who you are, and your task is to wake up. That's why you're here today. That's why you're in spiritual community. That's why you participate in things like this, so that you do your own reading, your own spiritual study, your own meditation, you take classes. That's all part of your job. But your work is to do the good work of being the awakened person, the awakened presence of God. That's your work. Because, and the reason this distinction is important, because as long as we've got that flipped, as long as we think that, oh, the most important thing I can do, it's my work to wake up to who I am. It's my work to do the inner things and excavate all the stuff and heal all the people and do all the things. I want to be clear. I'm not saying that doing that stuff isn't bad or wrong. It's good stuff. But meanwhile, there are people who are suffering under the drama that we're living in. There are people who are suffering under the game of the haves and the have-nots. There are people who are suffering under this amnesia and drama of forgetting who we are and playing the game of haves and have-nots, playing this illusion that we have to somehow earn our way. And so that while we're distracting ourselves by saying, I just got to go over here and do my work, other people are suffering in the process. You understand what I'm saying? Teachers in Oklahoma are getting fired for giving students access to the public library. Did you hear about this? The school system has said all these books are banned. You can't talk about these critical race theory and et cetera, et cetera. You can't talk about these things. You can't give them to your students. So a teacher, first day of school, she covered up her bookshelf with butcher paper. Right? Covered it up. And she put a QR code. You know what those are? We use them here. Put a QR code on her bookshelf. And the QR code took her students to the public library banned book section. I can't give you access to the books, but you are a member of the public. As long as you got a library card, you can go get them yourself. She got fired. Not only did she get fired from her job, but then the state secretary of education sought to remove her teacher license so that she couldn't get a job anywhere else in the state of Oklahoma, or likely anywhere else, and said in the letter that there was no place for this kind of liberal agenda in the public school system, and that this teacher was giving access to pornographic material. That's what the letter said. When we have lost the ability to allow citizens, students, members of the public to be afraid of the public library, we have lost. We have lost, right? These are people who are suffering under the delusion, right? Because somebody thought it was their job to project their fear of free thinking onto other people. So convinced that they were of that job that they thought it's a legitimate political position to stand on. It's not. It's nothing more than fear-mongering. It's nothing more than the projection of their own internalized fear, their own forgetfulness, their own illusion. And I want to be clear about this. It's not, see, we got to break free from the illusion of that there's good and evil. It's not these individuals are bad people. They have forgotten who they are. And in their forgetfulness, they're doing destructive things. But as soon as they wake up, they would stop such foolishness, right? Because they know who they are, right? Across the nation, our legislatures are filled, including here in Georgia, with anti-LGBTQAI legislation, right? Because somebody thinks it's their job to project their fear of free beings onto other people. So convinced of it that they think it's a legitimate political position. But it's not. It's just a projection of their own internalized forgetfulness. In Jackson, Mississippi, 150,000 citizens are suffering in a water crisis, not because rain did some damage to the city water system. This is not a natural disaster. This was a predictable, 100% preventable human disaster, a manifestation of racism. Individuals, state legislatures who had the resources, a state that's sitting on a $2.5 billion surplus, had the capacity and the know-how for decades to fix the system, but refused to, knowing that one day a natural disaster would wipe it out and it would fail, and they would just say, well, so-and-so didn't do anything about it. They tried to blame it on the local mayor. And the mayor didn't have the purse strings to do anything about it. The state did. It's not a natural disaster. It's a human disaster. It's individuals who had the willpower or had the access to the resources but lacked the will to do the decent thing. because somebody thought it was their job to project their fears onto others and call it political action or inaction. Should I keep going? Pastors can't water their neighbor's lawn. Have you seen this? Pastors can't water their neighbor's lawn. Their neighbor's out of town saying, I'm going to be out of town. Could you water my flowers? Pastor said, sure, of course I can water your flowers. I'm a pastor. Come on. I'm a pastor. I'm a neighbor. Somebody called the cops. Some stranger over there lurking around this house. Right? The cops showed up, and because the cops don't do any form of community policing, right? See, the thing should have stopped right there. Forgive the neighbor for thinking whatever the neighbor thought. But as soon as the police showed up and they said, I'm the pastor down the street, the cops ought to have been engaged enough in the community to say, oh, I'm sorry, Pastor, I didn't recognize you without your suit on. Of course you are, because I know you, because I know this neighborhood, because that's my job as a protector of the people. But someone thought it was their job to project their fear onto the unknown. So we don't need more people distracted and ignorant of these unfoldings, busy doing their spiritual work. What we need is people who wake up to who they really are and do their good work in the world. So we need to wake up and go to work. Wake up and go to work. Wake up and go to work. And what I promise you is that all the things that you want to do in your spiritual work, the healing and the dredging of the past and forgiving and taking all of that stuff out of the trunks that you're dragging it around in. Oh my God, I got all this stuff that you got to work on. I promise you that stuff will get worked out if you wake up and go to work. If you wake up and go to work. Because you were made good and very good. You were made good and very good. Turn to somebody and say, you were made good and very good. And when you know that, then you show up to do your good work. You show up to be the blessing. You show up to be the good neighbor. You show up to be the one who's going to bring water. You're going to show up to be the one who's going to look out after your neighbor. You're going to show up to be the one. Matthew Fox says, in the reinvention of work, he says, today, every profession requires a prophet. If the planet is to flourish again, the paradigm will shift to put new demands on business people, medical people, artists, economists, clergy, politicians, parents, children, blue-collar workers, white-collar workers alike. No industry, no job, no church, no institution, no union will be exempt from the critique of its impact for generations to come and the environment. He says, all work worthy of being called spiritual and worthy of being called human is in some way prophetic. All work worthy of being called spiritual, worthy of being called human, is in some way prophetic. It contributes to the growing justice and compassion of the world. It contributes to social transformation. The good work, then, is simply being the place where God shows up. Being the place. I am the place where God shows up. That's a song, I think, by Eddie Watkins, right? I am the place where God shows up. St. Augustine had it right. And he said, people travel to wonder at the high mountains, to wonder at the huge waves of the sea, the long courses of rivers, the vast compass of the ocean, the circular motion of the stars, and yet they pass themselves without ever wondering at all. Let us not pass by this way of life. Let us live into wonder and join in doing what we know as good work and allow the work to be known as good work that comes from us. Yes? Yes. Take a breath. I am a piece of the divine work. See, Spirit was right. I'm a piece of work. You're a piece of work. We're all a piece of work. We're a piece of the divine work of Spirit. I am a piece of the divine work of Spirit, made in wholeness, filled with purpose, expressing His love. Let's say it together. I am a piece of the divine work of Spirit, made in wholeness, filled with purpose, expressing as love. And so it is, and so we let it be. Ashe, ashe. Listen. I'm going to stay here for just a moment because I want to tell you a way that we are putting this good work into action right now. We had Atlanta Black Pride here on Tuesday night. We have a wonderful connection and fellowship with RIM Fellowship, which is Real Inspiration Ministries, United Church of Christ, Bishop Sonia Williams, and she called together a emergency meeting. She's the part of the ecclesiastical team that oversees the South region of TFAM, which is the Fellowship of Affirming Ministries, of which CSL is a member. That's the organization that Bishop Yvette Flender oversees. And so South region is from Texas all the way over to Florida. So she called together leaders in the South region and said, what can we do to help the citizens in Jackson, Mississippi? We had citizens and members of TFAM in Jackson to tell us what the actual needs are on the ground. And here's the deal. Yes, the Red Cross is there. Yes, FEMA is there. Yes, the National Guard is there. And they tend to set up distribution sites that you have to have transportation to get to. So it automatically leaves out those who are without transportation, the elderly, the shut-ins. They tend to focus on certain sides of the city, and we've been told by people on the ground that the south side of the city is being ignored, that there are no conveniently located access points so far on the south side. As I said, this is a man-made disaster that was predictable and preventable. There's no, in case you don't know, there's no clean drinking water. Because of the storms that came, there's no clean drinking, bathing, flushing. They recently told the citizens, if you're going to take a shower, shower with your mouth closed. And this has been going on for some time. You can go online and find lots of news reports for years. People that have, especially in the south side of Jackson, have been having water that they pick up to take showers with. They boil their water before bathing, cooking, etc. It's been going on for quite some time. So, long story short, what we're doing is Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta is serving as the collection site for cases of water to be shipped to Jackson, Mississippi. Another TFAM member has a truck. She's going to be leaving on Saturday, September 10th. So we're putting all this in kind of a quick way here to you today. So this is our goal. 350 cases of water, $3,000 for the fuel, a full pallet of water from either Costco, Sam's Club, and we're going to talk to the Sam's Club here and see if we can get a discount, but the online price right now. And you might say, well, why don't you call Walmart or so-and-so, such and such in or near Jackson? They're all out, and those that do have water are doing like they've done with gas. They're price gouging. It's ridiculous. And some people are getting it from other places, then selling it online and price gouging it. So the best way is to pay for the fuel and to get it there. So a full pallet is $500, half a pallet is $250, quarter pallet is $125, and we've already sent the word out to our CSL partners as well. People have made donations. You can do the Cash App that is on the screen. It's TFAM Annual, $TFAM Annual to Cash App, or you can contribute to SLCA. We do have a drop down now on our giving page that says Water for Jackson. So make sure you choose that, otherwise it'll go into our general fund. We still would like that today as well. Thank you very much. But we're doing this Water for Jackson. Our goal is to have everything ordered by Tuesday or Wednesday so that it can all be delivered here by Friday. We'll send an email out Friday if you're around. We'd love to have a pack the truck party all day. Come here and help us get everything on the truck. Truck will leave probably Friday night or early Saturday morning at 4 a.m. to get to Jackson later on Saturday and then come back. So that's what we're doing, and this is going to go to a club, LGBT club on the south side of Jackson, and distributed through their network directly to residents, elderly, and shut-ins, so that we know it's going directly. In addition to the water, it's just come up in conversations that we're talking with people there. If you have to bathe with your mouth closed, you probably don't want to bathe at all. So there's a great need for other hygiene products as well, to be clean and they're not washing their clothes, obviously. So there's a great need for other things besides the water. So we're working on using some money and some funds to do those kinds of things as well. So do what you can, help with what you can, where you can. Every little bit counts. We've had people all over the country already contact us and want to chip in. So this is a way that we are putting the good work into action. And by the time we gather next Sunday, it'll all be done. The truck will be gone, and we might be doing a second round or something. We'll see what the needs are. But I wanted to let you know that today. Sounds good? All right. Amen.
Love's inexhaustible, inexhaustible. inexhaustible supply. Love. Never has there been a spiritual drought. I'm tapped into love's infinite source. I don't have to beg, borrow, or steal my goods. I am not forgotten, overlooked, or ignored. My every need is met on time. My cup overflows. My heart swells up in gratitude. Love's inexhaustible love. Inexhaustible love. Love's inexhaustible love. Inexhaustible love. I step out and I trust. I play the destiny card. I stand on the solid rock of truth and I proclaim I am not forgotten, overlooked, or ignored. My every need is met on time. My cup overflows. My heart swells up in gratitude. 'Cause love's inexhaustible love. Inexhaustible love. Love's inexhaustible love. Inexhaustible love. My cup overflows. My heart swells up in gratitude. Love's inexhaustible love. Inexhaustible love. Want you to give where you can, okay? Love's inexhaustible love. Inexhaustible love. Inexhaustible love. Inexhaustible love. Thank you so much.
Penelope Williams, you wrote that, yes?
I did.
All right. Woo! Good job. What are you thinking of having somebody like Reverend David speak to us today, huh? Good job. That's power. That is power in action. Well, it's time to acknowledge our first-time visitors. Anybody here for the first time? Do we have any newbies? All right, welcome. Stand up. We have a gift for you. We're so glad you're here. Welcome, welcome. Love it. I love it. So that is a gift for you, and we are so glad that you found us. So we come to our time for grateful giving, and it's always good to do grateful giving after a fiery sermon. Yes? You brought it, Reverend David. Thank you. So here's the thing. He said a great phrase. Reverend David said a great phrase last week, holy investor. I've been thinking about that all week, and he was telling a story last week of the guy who has the winning crops, right? He had got the winning corn every year at the fair, and they asked him, what did he, what was how did that always happen? How did he keep his field so tight and good? And he's like, I give my seeds away to my neighbors. I give my seeds away to my neighbors. And I've been thinking about that in relation to Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, right? Holy investors, impact investors. If you are a pledger here, if you send any amount of money to Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta, and what's been interesting for us in the pandemic, everybody's converted to pledging. We used to do we'll do a plate collection today, and that is fantastic, and give what is on your heart to give. And what I have noticed is people have leaned into SLCA and given on the regular. Isn't that interesting? When things look like they go awry, and it looks like all structures are getting broken down. They're getting broken down for a reason, right? Yes. And SLCA is part of the structures that make a world that works for everyone. We're part of that. Our job of reawakening everybody to their spiritual magnificence is the toaster. You are spiritual magnificence. We're just here to remind you, our work is this. Your pledges go to this. To Penelope and David and Shannon and this building and this message getting out. That's what your pledge goes to. So we are so grateful for you doing your work by being a holy investor here at Spiritual Living Center of Atlanta. So if you would hold your pledge card in your hand, there are ways to give online. I'm sure I'm supposed to give the 800 number, but you can find it. Get online. Give through Breeze, set yourself up monthly. That is your holy investment, and we are so grateful. So let's give our grateful giving pledge together. I live in a universe of abundance. As I freely and joyfully give, I join in the divine flow, and all that I share with life returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
Connect, grow, serve, and give, living life where you belong. Connect, grow, serve, and give, loving everyone. You belong, you belong.
Hello, all you Selenas. My name is Selena, and my pronouns are she and her. And I serve on the Creative Arts team of Atlanta. On the Creative Arts team of SLCA. I'm ready for Atlanta. I'm excited to tell you about opportunities to connect, grow, and serve at our center. For more information about today's announcements, please take a moment to scan the QR code found on the back of the seat in front of you or the one displayed on the monitor. You may also visit our information wall in the lobby after the service. We'd like to thank our loyal pledgers and each of you that faithfully give to SLCA. Thank you. Remember, as always, to check our weekly email newsletter on Monday for all the ways to connect with SLCA during the week. If you're not currently receiving the newsletter, why would you not? We would like you to, so speak to one of us afterwards following the service. Connect with nature and join Chris Adams and Monique Garlington on the second Saturday of each month for a hike. That's this coming weekend. Explore trails in the Atlanta area as you fellowship with our community. For more information, speak with Chris or Monique after the service. You must register on Breeze for the time and location. Our next hike is this Saturday, September 10th. Please join us after lunch today at 1 p.m. for an afternoon of jazz, soul, funk, R&B, and blues. Don't miss your chance to experience stellar music in this beautiful setting. Enjoy the positive atmosphere and cool vibes of Spiritual Center of Atlanta. Be prepared to be blown away with an amazing lineup of jazz professionals coming together for this incredibly special concert, offered courtesy of SLCA and Gratitude Jazz. Continuing, we're excited to bring you a love offering workshop on September 18th, right after service. This workshop, entitled New Thought is Evolving, You Should Too, will be presented by Reverend Dr. David Alexander and will challenge you to explore a new framework for understanding our place in the journey from personal wellness to social justice and a world that works for everyone. Sign up today to attend either in person or on Zoom. Are you ready to take a deeper dive? Yes. Sign up now for Reverend David's newly revamped class, You Belong. This 8-week course is being offered both in person and on Zoom. The class is based on the book You Belong, A Call for Connection by Sabini Selassie. Register now to reserve your space. Will our practitioners please make yourselves known in person and in the online chat at this time to be recognized? Thank you. We welcome each of you in need of prayer to remain in the room or reach out to a practitioner online for one-on-one prayer with a licensed practitioner. In-person practitioners will be available on both sides of the sanctuary following the service. Thank you for joining us this morning. May your week be filled with peace, joy, love, and happiness. You belong.
Thank you, Natalie. Will you stand with me? Let's sing our closing song. Have a great weekend. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We envision a world that works for everyone and for all of creation. We see all people, all beings as expressions of God. We see a world that works for everyone. We see a world that works for everyone. We see a world that works for everyone. Everyone, 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 everyone. We love you so much.